My name is Marietta Jessup, and I booked a consultation with Mike. It was so informative. I have a huge family. Like, my family is really big. It's like 11 brothers and sisters, and all together with the grandkids and the great grandkids, it's like over 100 of us. So I started thinking, we need to know where we from, because my mom died in 2021, and my dad died last year, and we need to know where we come from and who we are. And the information that I got from Mike was so astounding, things I never even thought about or heard about. And I just appreciate everything that he has done, and everything that he had given me. And I would suggest that everybody, every Black American, African American, do your genealogy, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need to know where you come from. Your kids gonna need to know where they come from, and your grandkids gonna need to know where they come from. So do it, and he's very good, and I appreciate it. And thank you, Mike.
I look at it as from the beginning, what Creek people were, who we were, where we come from, and anybody who ever came into our nation. I mean, even on our rolls now, go back to the Dawes rolls, we had Mexicans on our rolls, we had adopted whites, and then, of course, the Freedmen rolls. But when you go...
Oh, they adopted whites, guys. They adopted whites. And he doesn't have anything negative to say about the whites they adopted, but he got something to say about why he doesn't think the blacks should get proper citizenship and benefits, huh? But they adopted the whites, and he thinks it's okay to have the white. Yeah, he think he's slick, don't he? He think he's slick. I'm about to pick his ass apart like a prosecutor. You know you done f***ed up, right? You know you done f***ed up.
To the Dawes rolls and look into that history, that was a mess in itself. There was no Bureau of Vital Statistics. There was no official birth certificates. What you had were people going around asking questions. And most of them back then, the freedmen, they did live around Creek people. They did speak our language.
Oh, so we lived with you and we like spoke your language, but like somehow we're not part of the tribe because we're too dark. We have too much melanin. We don't look slant eye Mongolian enough for you. So basically, he's trying to sneak this and say without saying that he thinks the black people, even though they lived with the Creek Indians and spoke the language and were a part of the community, he thinks they just want to get some piece of land. He's going to totally negate the treaty that the Creek Nation signed in 1866 with the U.S. government. He's going to totally negate that. It's because some black folks want to steal some land, but he ain't saying a goddamn thing about all them white $5 Indians they adopted into the tribe. You can just say you don't like black people. It's okay. We know you grew up poor, methed out on the reservation in squalor, and you probably saw bad things about black folks on the media, and you developed a disdain and an anti-black sentiment. You can just be honest with us, because the rationale you're trying to give doesn't make sense. Guys, this is such a conundrum, because this whole thing about blood quantum is something that was forced on us natives by the European invaders. Don't no other group of people go by no blood quantum. The Russians don't say, hey, you have to have this amount of Russian blood. The Irish don't say you got to have this amount of Russian blood, or excuse me, Irish blood. I'm sorry, I get my Europeans mixed up. All of them look the same. But guys, no other ethnic group goes by blood quantum. The Indians, although they have a caste system, they don't go by blood quantum. No Asian country that I know of goes by blood quantum, but the $5 Indians want to use Uncle Sam's racist laws that they forced on the indigenous folks to hide behind their secret anti-black desires.
Shout outs to Mike TV. He's helping me get my genealogy and tribal affiliations in order. I'm actually going to go to a family reunion this coming weekend. So shout out to you, Mike. And I got faith that you're going to make it happen. You know what I mean?
I don't want no color folks on the res getting some of our money. I like it the way it is. Come on. Come on. And guys, this video was years ago. This video was 6 years ago when the Creek Freedmen were first initiating a lawsuit. Guess what? Fast forward, we won that lawsuit. And I say we, even though I don't descend from a Creek Freedman, because let me give you guys some context. I'm a very open and very transparent individual. So let me just go ahead and give you guys some historical context. This will also be a great advertisement for my genealogy consultation services because this is the type of stuff I teach you guys how to research and find on your own. But let me just log in to my Ancestry.com account real quick so I can pull up my family tree and show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, here we go. So my closest, most recent lineal ancestor, I was a card-carrying member of the Muskogee Creek Nation. Pull him up right here in a second. Most recent ancestor, Pleasant Tobler. He was born in 1903. Pleasant Tobler. Pleasant Tobler descended from Fred Tobler and Mary Adams. Now, this is how they get away with their anti-black racist shit, right? Let's go ahead and look on the dolls roll real quick. Type in my ancestors roll number 1017. Find them on the list real quick, fast. We freestyle them. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. We got him right here on the dolls roll. Pleasant Tobler. He's placed on the roll at 2 years old. Gender is male. Blood quantum is 1/2. There's his roll number. He's a Creek by blood newborn. Well, hey, why is my ancestor's blood quantum 1/2? Why isn't he full-blooded? Was like one of his parents white and the other one native? Like, what's going on here? No, both his parents were full-blooded natives. But you see, the issue is his father, Fred, was too dark. So they called him a freedman. And you see here on the dolls roll, they list freedmen as card-carrying members of the tribe, but they don't put a blood quantum. There's literally a blank space in the blood quantum category. So certain tribes, for example, my tribe, they say, hey, if you want to be a citizen, you have to not just have an ancestor that was on the dolls roll, but they also have to have a blood quantum. And you can see they don't list the Indian blood of the freedmen. What does that mean? All the freedmen were African slaves? No. Some of the freedmen were full-blooded Indians, no African admixture at all, misclassified Indians that underwent a paper genocide, prisoners of war. But because they're dark, they don't get their blood quantum registered. So now, since Pleasant Tobler's father was a freedman, they don't acknowledge his father's Indian blood, and now they mark him as 1/2. So then if you look at my citizenship card, it says in my blood quantum category, I'm 132. Well, goddamn, my blood would be more pure than 132 if they had listed my ancestor like a full-blooded Indian he is, instead of discriminating on his father because he was too black. So if you guys hear me slip up and say we when referring to the freedmen, I still take up arms with the freedmen. I still rock out with the freedmen, even though my ancestor is technically Creek by blood and I was able to get into the tribe that way, and I don't, have the same plight and same fight as the freedmen. I rock with them, and I think they need more allies like me who are Creek by blood because they've been trying to do some slick shit with the freedmen. When we talk about this case that the freedmen have been fighting to get citizenship, they actually have recently won. September 23rd, a judge in the Muskogee Creek Nation ruled in favor of 2 descendants of enslaved people known as freedmen, and this case could pave the way for the rest of the freedmen to get citizenship to the tribe.
Hi guys, I had my genealogy consultation with Mike today. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. He has a lot of information that will probably benefit you guys. And if you ever get a chance, just you give him a chance. He's a great guy, and I believe he's trustworthy. Very, very trustworthy.
And there are certain tribes that used to not let freedmen in, and then they changed their policy. Like I believe the Chickasaw is one of them. And then there's some tribes who don't discriminate against the freedmen at all, like the Seminole Nation. So as you guys can see, this can be fairly complex, which is why I do provide those genealogy consultation services.
We all have to go through that process. And even back during the Dawes days, there was, full-blood Creeks who missed out on citizenship. And I'm sure there was some freedmen, who did have Creek blood who probably missed.
Oh, so now he's going to admit that there were freedmen who had Creek blood who missed out on citizenship. But he doesn't want to get that rectified, right? Hey, I do know there were some freedmen who were full-blooded Indians. They weren't no African slaves. There was Indians. But, I still don't think we should let the freedmen get membership.
There was, full-blood Creeks who missed out on citizenship. And I'm sure there was some freedmen, who did have Creek blood who probably missed out on it too.
But we don't give a fuck how long it's been. We don't care. The tribe's constitution was written 150 years ago, and you still want us to go by what's in the tribal constitution, but you don't want to go by the treaty. Oh, I know some freedmen by blood missed out, but it was 150 years ago. F out of here.
Me coming into this consultation with Mike, I came off of really doing a lot of past information. for myself, I was trying to connect the dots to see where my family did come from. Unfortunately, I hit a lot of roadblocks on the way. And with the consultation that I had today, it did open me up to a lot of knowledge and information that can help me with my journey to finding out where I definitely do come from. And I know a lot of genealogy is not really easy to kind of do. And Mike, you really opened up my eyes to a lot of things that I kind of knew about, but he got me to really see it in a different manner, or explain it in a way that kind of helped me understand the way to connect the dots that'll kind of help us really get to that next step in our genealogy. The consultation is definitely worth it. He really knows the stuff, and I would definitely recommend that you seek out a consultation.